uh, all right. So I've got 25 minutes today to just dive in a little bit to some topics that are really close to my heart and that I'm dealing with a lot in my community, inspired contemporary pianist, and in my courses, and that I want to share with you all, and also, of course, let you know what I'm doing over the summer and with this community, and hopefully inspire you on your path. And if you are so inclined to join some of the things that we're doing also online, and for anybody who's local to Denver, we have some local things as well. So let's just like jump in. I have an agenda, and part of that is hearing from you guys. I want to lay out this idea of contraction as the topic for today. And contraction, feeling contracted can kind of manifest in any number of ways, right? I'm thinking particularly about like when I'm in the process of performing. That could be, just rehearsing, practicing, or performing live. Most often this happens like when I'm performing and recording, that feeling of contraction. I've had some students recently bring this up, and it seems like a really core kind of hurdle and kind of recurring challenge that happens for us, and maybe especially as pianists, because we're dealing with so much information all the time. This kind of blinders effect that gets you contracted into just doing what you're doing and not getting connected to the people you're playing with. And I kind of identified three primary problems. One is that you stop playing intentionally and just start forcing stuff. And problem two is that you stop listening to your bandmates and hearing what's possible based on what's going on in the music around you. And three would be that you're evaluating and judging the music. And that could be like a self-evaluation and judgment, or like, thinking, man, this bass player is janky, or whatever it is, right? And nobody's listening to me, and that evaluative mental narrative starts to take over. Any of those for me can kind of just contract my awareness. And in a nutshell, for me, the solution is metacognition, which allows me to pause. Maybe pausing allows me to metacognate, actually, and reconnect. So I'm curious, just with that as an intro, what do you guys have, in your experience? I mean, David, you've been playing forever, man. Like, you must know this experience as intimately as anybody else. What's your experience with these things? Mm. 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 I love that. Deep breath, hands off the instrument for a few moments. I love it. That's like that's a totally in alignment with where I'm going with this, right? I think that's a veteran musician speaking right there, and obviously like very thoughtful because you're thinking about your thinking, right? Which is metacognition. I don't know if you think about it in those terms, but for me, this idea of metacognition is so core to being able to be in my joy when I'm playing and not get like siphoned into anxiety or judgment or forcing, you know. I just was in the studio recording a handful of songs on Tuesday, and there's a point in one of my songs where I get to take a solo over a 3-chord vamp, right? And the the mental, emotional, just inner experience for me is so interesting. Uh, and I think what's better for me than it's ever been is the ability to catch myself in the patterns of forcing, right? Or trying too hard or thinking too much, as you put it. Um, but it's not that I'm, in some perfect flow state that never has interruptions, right? And I do have to do more or less exactly what you just said, which is pause and even take my hand off the instrument, like take my right hand off of the linear, you know, com- kind of constantly compelled to create new stuff and just breathe into the space, and then reconnect to a strong strategic intention. A lot of the time for me, that's my voice. Sometimes it's interaction. Sometimes it's a harmonic thing, but a clear idea and a clear strategic intention. So that's one of the things that also I want to get into across these 4 days. I think tomorrow the topic is the strategic thinking and strategic intentions. So we'll dive into that a little bit then. Hey, Chip, just want to say hi. Can you hear me? Clearly. Okay. Nice. All right, man. Nice to see you, man. Thanks for showing up. Um, Austin, you got any thoughts on this, just from your own experience? Hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. I love that. Yes. And that's just a variation on the evaluation voice, right? The disappointment, um, in the moment. Man, that's deep, right? When that disappointment happens in the middle of playing. Woo! Yeah. So that's exactly the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Um, and I will tell you this metacognitive um, space of being able to think about your thinking, or really being able to observe your uh, awareness and your attention, uh, and then intentionally refocus is the key. Uh, I struggled a lot with losing the form, with doing exactly what you're talking about. Like I get so into what I'm doing that I forget to think. And I don't know if I say like that I'm not thinking enough, but that I forget to track certain elements, especially like more macro elements like structure. And so I would lose like first A, second A, things like that. And And as soon as that happens and something just starts to fall apart, then of course, right, the disappointment kicks in, the self-evaluation, um, the anxiety for me. And then the forcing for me is the thing that starts to happen, right? And being able to breathe, pause, listen in those moments, and making that a habit is what has really started to become like a real solution to that problem for me. It's not that, again, it's not that it never happens, but it's that I have a solution on hand right away. And so it doesn't spiral. Um, there are some other tricks about losing the form that we can talk about, more specifically. But right now, with time being what it is, I just want to point you guys to the workbook that I created for this as a resource that you can use for yourself. You could use in your teaching. I'm putting it into the chat right now. And let's see. If we start here on part 1, which is the second page, let me know if you need that, like a link to that or something. But otherwise, the PDF is in the chat there. Y'all have that? Cool. Okay. Identifying your patterns, right? That's basically what we're doing right now. And I think, let's take a minute. I just described the time, literally Tuesday, when my playing got out of flow a little bit, and I'm going to think about it myself. Let's just take like 30 seconds and just think back to a recent time. What were the physical sensations in your body, right? Do you like hunch over the piano? Do you close your eyes? Do you open your eyes? Do you look up? Do you get like a physiological thing? I get sometimes like a physiological anxiety. And then like what's your thinking patterns or emotional patterns that come up then? And if you feel like writing, go for it. And we'll just take 30 seconds starting now to reflect individually. Okay. Anything specific come up that's worth sharing? No pressure. All right. I can tell you I'm just going to be like brutally honest right now. I'm thinking about that solo that I took, and I was going for something in the middle of it. It felt good, but not like perfect. So I'd kind of given up on having the perfect solo already. Which is like, there's always a backdrop of like, maybe this would be like the perfect thing when you're in the studio, right? And I was going for something, and I flubbed a like a sixth that I was going for in C minor, like something like that. I was going for something like that, and I think I don't know what, bottom finger got funky and was real sloppy. And in that moment, there's like so many different directions you can go. And I mean, I had like a whole cascade of thoughts in millisecond, right? Including like, oh, this recording's so great, but you can't win a Grammy now. Like that's the worst thought. I mean, it's almost like like kind of humiliating to say that out loud, but it's the truth. So like I have to own that, right? And this is the process of self-reflection that I think is really important for everybody to just be in the reality of like, what does your brain say? And then have a relationship with that. That's like, okay, that's okay. Right. Move on. And, and I know what my intention is with music. It's not about winning a Grammy. It's, and that's never been what I'm trying to, my ambition has never been that. So, so it's like, it's almost comical in that moment. And then the refocus, boom, like next millisecond is what am I trying to say? And if I can get back to that, then I can, continue actually serving the music rather than some silly narrative that pops up in my head, right? And I think that happened, you know? It's a very expressive tune, a very expressive solo section. So it is one of those things for me where I'm like pushing against the limits. And that tends to be when these things happen, when you're pushing against some limit of like, this is too fast, or it's a hard tune, or this section is tricky. Yeah. Or there's other factors of like thinking about who's listening to me right now. I'm playing with somebody and it's making me nervous, whatever. Let's go on to part 2. So, when you recognize that contraction, and we did already talk about some of these things, but I think it's important to have this kind of self-awareness of what is it that happens, and for me, it's a few different things. You can see right here, I felt disappointed, discouraged, frustrated. Right? Austin already said that. Getting disconnected. Honestly, like, I wrote this list from some things my students have said and also like all of these things I've experienced. So once you know what your kind of habitual or default responses are, we can really like clarify perception. I'm going to go on to part 3 and talk about that. So, what is the problem solving process? And I think this is where being clear about your intention, there's a macro version of that, which is being clear about your personal intention as a musician. And there's a micro version of that, which is being clear about your musical intention in the moment. And if you've lost track of that musical intention in that moment of disconnection, like, what do we have to do? Like, pause. That's it. So exactly what David said, right? Pause, probably hands off the instrument. I love that. Like, I think it's a practice worth doing even when you're playing great. In fact, when I pause and I take my hand off the instrument, normally I feel like I'm playing better immediately. It's like, then, my ideas are clear now because there's space. Practice that right now with my speaking. So going on to part 4, right? You see my first reconnection exercise is don't play. I think you should do this as an exercise while you're comping. Just try it. So there's not this like pressure of being in a solo, right? And just stop playing, listen for a few bars, even a whole section. Just see what happens. I guarantee if you're playing in a band with a rhythm section, they'll probably, it's possible if they're not used to it, they'll be like, what are you doing? But they'll probably love playing without you for a little while. And then they'll love it even more when you come back in, right? And when you come back in, you can come in with real intention rather than that just like, oh, I got to keep up, right? I think, and that, is the segue to like interrupting your compulsive playing, right? And there's an exercise here that I love that I forget who, but some master teacher had this idea that was passed down to me, which is that let at least 2 ideas come up and go in your mind before playing. It's great exercise. Thinking ahead. So this is a big piece, Austin, for that thing of like, oh, I'm not thinking enough. It's really just that you're not toggling mentally and thinking ahead sometimes. So there's a mental toggle that has to happen where you anticipate what's happening next in the harmony or in the song form. And then listening, choose one bandmate, listen to that bass player, or listen to that drummer, listen to the horn soloist, whatever, and really focus in on supporting what they're doing. This is another great exercise. And then just, leave some space. You don't have to like stop necessarily, but just leave space. Play fewer notes at a time. Instead of ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-doo-ba-doo-bop, play like bo-bop or bop-bop-a-doo. And then see what happens next, right? So I think all of those are great exercises you can try out, really consciously apply in your playing. And part 5, finally, just the integration of all of this in the present moment, transforming your experience. Pause, breathe, listen, and play something intentional. The other thing, pause, breathe, listen, and look up. Look up. Make eye contact with your bandmates. This is something I've had to really mature into. Not being Bill Evans out, just like focused on the keys all the time. But it's a great exercise. So, all right. That's my my quick attempt at touching on a very profound topic today. We've got a few minutes. I really appreciate each of you joining, and let me just give you a quick rundown of what I'm doing this summer and in my community, so you know what's available if you want to continue working with me. And also, this is just day 1 of 4, so if you want to come back tomorrow and the next day and the next day, each day is a different topic. So yeah, please do if you want. I'll have links available shortly after for a free replay that'll be available for a little while as well. So the Inspired Contemporary Pianist community is continuing into the summer and hopefully for a long time. I do bi-weekly sessions on Zoom, just like this, normally for 90 minutes. So we have time for a presentation and a Q&A. And what I'm going to do this summer is build a brand new jazz piano course with the participants. So whoever signs on for this is going to go through this process with me. I have a 9-part framework, and it's going to be responsive to repertoire that you want to work on, challenges that you're facing. Basically, the format will be I'll offer a focused lesson based on that 9-part framework. We'll walk through it sequentially, and then I'll give you a menu of assignments to choose from. There'll be listening, transcribing, composing, learning tunes, playing with play-alongs, etc. And then in the community, you'll get feedback from me, just like you would like in an online college course, and we'll really co-create this curriculum that'll be something that you can come back to anytime. For anybody who's on this journey with me, creating this course, you'll have lifetime access to it. And then after that, it'll be for others, they can take that course as an a la carte option. And I want to let you know, for Denver locals, I have a mastery group that also has all of this, biweekly sessions, etc. But we also have monthly rhythm section days and master classes. This summer, I'm going to have the gospel wizard pianist Solomon Chapman, Canadian star Lila Bialy, and others. And every month, participants can have a one-on-one check-in with me as well. So we get a little bit of one-on-one. We get these sessions with lots of interaction and feedback. And then I also do practice video feedback. So if you post your practice, I will actually post a video back and give you feedback. And that's beginning right at the beginning of June. So we're going to go June 1st all the way through August, and we're going to create this course. The first rhythm section day for anybody who's local is June 8th. And just FYI, I don't think any of y'all are local. So this doesn't apply for you guys who are here right now. But, Austin, you are. Okay. Cool. Well, for anybody who wants to go like deep all in, I just completed a 6-month mentorship and recording studio journey with 2 mentees. We went into Mighty Fine all day. We had a 12-hour day in Mighty Fine on Tuesday. I recorded a few tunes, and then each of them recorded 4 tunes, and they've been rehearsing every month with Drew Heller and Gonzalo Tepa. Just incredible world-class rhythm section. And we're going to restart. We're going to do it again. I only have room for 3. I just, I need to give a lot of focus and attention. We do 90-minute sessions one-on-one. So it's a lot of time, and it's an intensive process. If you want to inquire about that, we're going to start in mid-July. So make sure you book a call with me and we can talk about it. All right. Oh, yeah, Austin. Sorry, I forgot you were a TU alum. All right. So I put the book a call link there in the chat, and I'm going to have to sign off right now. It was a pleasure seeing everybody's face, hearing from you. I hope you gained something from this, and that workbook is useful for you, both for yourself and potentially in your teaching as well. Any final words? Thank you, David. Yeah, man. It's great to see you, man. I appreciate seeing your face and your beautiful smile and hearing from you. Yeah. Well, maybe someday in Hawaii. I've never been, still. But it's a dream. Yeah, please. Okay. Take care, y'all.